You want to hold these? What do we got? Hold that one up. That's the edition right there. It's
Beers. Prince.
I like the contrast between the really loose, scribbly oil stick and then like the how you wash it in for paint on this one.
The cut in.
Yeah, like this kind of stuff is super nice.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, this one stands out for me just for the whole, like having structures inside your work, you know, this kind of.
Like a house, like a
Houses, building, yeah.
yeah, this one's called what? The Dream I Can Afford.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I got like the white picket fence, you know. I don't know, I guess I was being like all homesick when I was painting it. Like this is like it's basically kind of like the shape of New Mexico right here, like a weird, like loose sense, which I didn't even realize when I was painting it at first. And then once I was saying like when you look back at things in context, you're like, oh, it turns out I was like really missing home at the time, and I like loosely drew the shape of our state and like the white picket fence and just like, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of I wouldn't like to say like a statement piece, but it just says what was happening, you know, at the time. And I'm always kind of going through transition and static with my like housing and living situation. So that's like always something that's on at some varying point, you know, it can be either bad or worse. I'm pretty sure it was rainy and cold and when I started this, so you know, it's like
Maybe an extra cloud over there.
yeah, it's
It's
like
like
really
really
hard times, you know.
You got
The boom box right here.
Oh yeah, the little
The
gramophone.
little gramophone, which is like accidental, like drawing, you know.
What are these two kind of figures or?
Yeah, we got like some chicks down there. That's always you know, the female figure is always a prevalent thing. And probably most, like, I guess, heterosexual males work, you know what I mean?
It's been essential element.
Yeah, you know, throughout history, you know, we found that it tends to be an element, but yeah, I don't know, I think it represents, like, home and security and stability and like all of those type of things that we find out of like our lover or our mother or like, you know, our, you know, friends who hold us down in that sense. So yeah, I think that's kind of like a part of the element why I always kind of will throw that the figure in there like that as a piece of power and like for me, I mean, it's always been like a grounding element, you know, having a strong female figure in my life. So yeah, like that's a part of being home, I guess, in that sense. And like these, you know, you have that represented, but yeah, just, and you know, especially living in the Bay Area, you're dealing with people living in tents, you know, so I've got some of these, you know, you got the tents and there's so much going on out here that, you know, like this is like, I woke up after I was at this fancy ass party in the city and I woke up underneath the kitchen table, or like through the table. That's like a direct reference to just like having nowhere to go and being like, well, I can sleep like, is it cool if I just lay down right here? And they're like, I guess. And then you like wake up in somebody's house and you're like under the kitchen table.
Like a structure.
Yeah, and it was fucking not outside.
Yeah.
And so that was cool. And yeah, and then just like these guys like with their flags kind of like you know, we get to the moon and we put a flag on it, like,
Yeah.
and, you know, like,
Stake your claim.
yeah, like put your flag up, but they're blank, you know. There's no, you know, like there's nothing to represent.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm here.
Claiming ownership.
Yeah.
For the sake of it.
For real, yeah. So yeah, I guess, yeah, like now that I speak about the piece, like in this sense, like, yeah, it's definitely probably one of the more like meaningful pieces as far as like what it represents as an image and also as what it represents like to me and like the process and my experience, you know, on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It feels a little bit different than
Yeah,
otherwise.
I've been noticing a lot of like missing heads in your figures.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like a recent thing? It seems like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of like the way it looks. And also it's kind of like, just like your brain is just like a antenna anyways, you know? Like our head is just like, so kind of just is almost representative of that, like kind of like, just like, meow, like the beam coming in. And also, you know, sometimes it's just easier to just draw 5 lines for the head than to try to draw a figured face that will represent, like, you know, because sometimes I'll have a figure and I'll really enjoy the like shape, and then I'll try to put a head on it, and it completely changes like the context of the painting. It's
It's
like
pretty intense.
angry or, you know.
It makes me think of classical sculpture. Like how many of those statues are missing heads and arms.
Yeah, because it's more focused on what the body's doing, or
Well, it's also because people like knocked them off.
Yeah.
They were like.
Erasing
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten some mixed reviews. I've definitely driven some figures without a head that people weren't like, they felt like it was misrepresenting the figure because it didn't have a face.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was, in my brain a lot of times, I feel without having the technical skill to draw the exact like expression that I want, it's just better to leave it headless, you know, and just kind of move on. But yeah, I don't know.
What's up with the
Headless.
top piece, yeah?
Shit, that's kind of an extension of, I think I was working on like pretty much all this stuff around the same time. But I wanted to just use only gray and white, or like gray, white, black, and silver, just like no color at all.
Yeah.
It was like right around the time I was doing these ones, like it was all just like no color, silver blacks, you know, and just kind of
It's like pull it more one.
completely away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was still thinking about like the home with like the roof flying off, and like, yeah, it's just kind of characters and thick paint, kind of messing with material.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
The roof flying off is the upper right hand corner.
On this bottom, or I guess it could be still flying that way if you think of it that way, but it's like the little structures down here, and this roof is flying.
Alright.
But yeah, like if this one is kind of one that's kind of high, I think it was just kind of work for the composition of the wall.
Yeah.
But this one kind of up close, there's like a lot of like kind of scrapey elements too, or you can kind of see just like brushstroke detail and stuff like that. That's kind of interesting, like.
The hands are not very nice. Especially the like skeleton hands.
Yeah.
At the bottom.
Hands are always
Yeah,
a big theme with me. I think it's something to do with some like, I don't know, reaching out type shit, touching people, just interacting, you know what I mean, fighting, shit like that. Yeah, I don't know. I like every new year I'm like, no fighting. And then like, I'll get in a fight like a month later.
Yeah.
I get like 3 fights a year. It's not really a good look, but I don't know, but it's a part of just what it is. It's always fucked up because of it, so.
Yeah.
It's what it is. Like, so maybe that's always a thing. My hands are always hurting or something, or
Yeah.
like punch something stupid like a wall or fucking.
Faces.
Try not to punch people. Spin around. Spin around.
This alligator piece is awesome.
Yeah, so this is the alligator. Yeah, so this was one of the other skulls from that magazine. Great canvas from the late Bill Harsh, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Got blessed with a bunch of his canvases, and this is one of the ones, and this is made with a bunch of his paint that he made personally, like pre-mixed himself.
Yeah.
So that was like, when I started this piece, was like kind of almost like nerve-wracking, and like kind of like a step where I was like, man, I gotta fucking do a good one on this.
Yeah.
Because just to do him and his materials justice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was how I cracked this one out. Fucking, I'm pretty stoked on it.
Yeah.
But his palette was super amazing, so it kind of is like easy to make dope paintings when you're like given like the cheat code to
Yeah.
like the color scheme, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, all oil and some spray paint, and yeah, it was like kind of one of my first ventures into the oil realm on this size. So it took a while, like use a lot of linseed oil and stuff, so that the paints would dry slower.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like between layers and like.
Gotta be a lot more patient.
Yeah, like kind of like fill in the background and then wait like a week, 2 weeks, just like touch it every time you come to the studio, and then like I was able to like put the blue in. I think the blue was like the last thing I did,
Yeah.
and yeah, so it took a pretty big process, but yeah, I don't know, just the alligator and the fucking ancientness, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of something I trip off of a lot, is the like just speck of like nothingness we are on time, and
Yeah.
what we are as a species and as creatures. We're just not on that level
Yeah.
as other things that we kind of deem to be like below us,
Yeah.
like the whole animal kingdom, basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like, you know, like basically, yeah, like modern age fucking dinosaurs, and
Yeah.
you know,
Go back to the title.
yeah, for sure. I think, you know, a lot of people, especially like creative types, I think are probably tapped into that sort of idea of like the universal kind of knowledge that's there, but also like the constraints that we have as a like species, and just whatever time we're in, you know, or dimension, you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know, it's just we're not I don't know if we're moving forward.
Kind of a flat circle.
Yeah, but I don't know, it's just I just like the water. The water has been a theme too. It's fucking shit like that. So this spiral, I had to keep this little. Like that's a little like I think pretty sure like I painted this whole thing around this being like in the center.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like just this little like wisp of spray paint. Original planned on having the background, and I think I was gonna have this like outer strip to kind of just show, really to show like a bunch of Bill's work, like it was pre-primed black, you know what I mean? And I just kind of wanted to leave like a strip to just show some, see some of these scrapes that are in here. He had already had some scrapes in his canvas that I felt like I kind of wanted to just like show, kind of like preserve as to be like, like this is like almost like a collab with him or something, you know?
Yeah, the repetitive pattern is super nice on this one.
Yeah, it gives it like a cool little vibrational thing to the back instead of it being like kind of like really one dimensional, like flat.
Yeah.
So.
So would you say this one's like pure stream of consciousness or more like about specific things for like the home painting?
This one, I think for sure is the stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't really thinking about anything starting it besides I wanted to paint like a gigantic painting. I'm like, I want to do something just really out there. And then just basically laid the canvas on the ground and started like just going for it, you know? But that's kind of like what we were talking about like earlier, is in that sense, you only just are painting like from your subconscious or in the moment, you know?
Yeah.
So it kind of like writes its own narrative once you look at it at the end, you know?
Yeah.
RPMF tune.
Cool little face from here.
This guy is like, kind of like I was just saying, like when things kind of like pull around, like this is kind of like the nose area of this guy.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, it's an arm coming up from maybe somewhere over here, but it's his leg and his jawline that comes down, and then it's the arm of this character coming back, you know? So things kind of like, there's these paintings that I would always see like when I would go to Juarez and shit as a kid, or high school or whatever, you know, teenager. And they're like, it would be like the vegan or like a picture of like Picasso, but then it would be like two women sitting down, but then it would be like a waterfall, and it would be this other greater image inside of it.
Having a drink, but it's a skull too.
Yeah. Those kind of like the image folded inside of the image type of fucking like mind trips.
Yeah.
Those I think were always kind of like super like dope to me. And in a way, I think that kind of influences the way I look at images in art, trying to like create images in that way. Is like what's like the one inside of the one, inside of the one, you know. There's like this was like an area I was trying to keep like just this one big, this brush stroke swoosh, and some of the just more goopy painty areas. Yeah. You know?
It's a fun exercise for the kids to count how many faces.
Yeah, what do you see? Osa is on here. Shouts out to Osa. R.I.P. Osa. Yeah. Yeah, man, life and death, man, it's a fucking thing, for sure. I thought, like, you know, unfortunately, you gotta throw like 3 or 4 RIPs during the middle of everything, because we lose them pretty quick, so at least I have been.
Usually you paint with acrylic or like spray paint, like house paint and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Is the orange, is that house paint?
Yeah, this is basically all house paint and spray, and then I actually used, or not, what are they print, what are the sick graffiti ones, that fucking.
Pasta? Or Montana? Unicate?
The unis!
Yeah.
The unis are the shit!
Yeah.
Uni. I used the uni a bunch on this one, because at a certain point, I could do most of the outline brush,
Yeah.
which I like to do generally on my smaller pieces now, but it just wasn't, just the way, just the rhythm of painting on this, it had to be marker,
Yeah.
you know?
Uninterrupted lines.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, really. But yeah, I don't know, I'm looking forward, hopefully to do a couple more, like, things like this size.
Yeah, the size of it.
Yeah, these are the ones, baby, I'm telling you.
It's a classic.
Woo, we can't go wrong. And you can refill them too, so yeah.
We'll add a link to the, just get a video to Amazon for evening.
Right, see.
Well, 20% from Amazon.
Shit, so good. Yeah.
Well, cool.
Yeah, I think that's
I think that was pretty much
the full circle. We got
a full circle.
finish my tequila. Yeah,